Good morning, friends. Good morning, Ramana sir. Today we'll discuss about profitability ratio, which is one of the ratios of ratio analysis to analyze and interpret financial statements. In the last class, if you have any queries, then you can go to google.com where a link is there. You can write down your questions, and we all of us will try to give answer to the questions raised by you. Let us come to the first uh, part of our profitability ratio. As you know, the basic purpose of any business is to earn profit. But the if you see the financial management, the basic primary objective is to maximize shareholders' wealth. But to maximize shareholders' wealth, you have to earn profit, of course, by satisfying interest of all stakeholders. But here we will focus on is profit important for the business. If yes, profit is important for the business, then yes, it has to be earned. Yes, profit is the primary objective of business to survive in the market, and profitability is the indicator of efficiency of operation of business. So when you say profit, we mean different things. One is gross profit, one is net profit, one is operating profit, another is profit on investment, or you may say return on investment, or you may say return on capital employed. So let us understand the profit loss statement before going into profitability ratio. Our profit and loss statement under Companies Act 2013 is, if you see the slides, you can see clearly. So we start with revenue from operation. What is the meaning of revenue from operation? It is sale of goods and services less sales return, if any, or if any allowances or discount allowed. So revenue from operation indicates revenue we obtain by selling goods and services. This is net revenue after deducting sales return. Other incomes are there. That income we earn on investment, income we earn in terms of dividend. So these are other incomes which are not related to our operation. They are called income from non-operating activities. So revenue from operating activities and incomes from non-operating activities, these two constitute total revenue. Similarly, expenses are given like this. Cost of material consumed, we know opening stock of raw materials plus net purchase minus closing stock of raw materials. So that gives you cost of material consumed. Purchase of stock in trade, that is applicable to trading business. If you purchase directly finished goods from the market, that is called purchase of stock in trade for sale purpose. And change in inventory. So inventory, when you say inventory in our business, we mean three things: raw material, work in progress, another is finished goods. Raw material stock has already been considered in calculating cost of materials consumed. But change in inventory is about opening stock of WIP, closing stock of WIP. If there is any difference, that will be considered here. So similarly, finished goods is there, opening stock of finished goods, another is closing stock of finished goods. Change means if opening stock is more, then it is added to your expenses. If closing stock is more, it is deducted from your expenses. So employee benefit expense that includes salary, wages, and all benefits that go to employees or workers or labor. That may include indirect expenses like salary to employees. That may include direct expense that wages to laborers. Similarly, finance cost that is about interest on loan when you raise finance to run the business to finance the different asset of the business. So we pay interest on that, interest on loan, interest on interest on debenture, interest on bonds. So these include finance cost. So they do not constitute part revenue expenses. Rather, it is non-operating expenses. It is simply non-operating expenses. Depreciation is operating expenses. Amortization is also operating expenses. When you say all other expenses are not found, like administrative expenses, selling expenses, factory expenses, they are included in other expenses. So you have to identify those components in the notes to accounts. So total expenses is coming with cost of metal consumed, purchase of stock in trade, change in inventory, employees benefit expense, finance cost, depreciation, amortization, other expenses. Then if you deduct total expenses from total revenue, then you'll get profit before tax. If you deduct tax, then you will get profit after tax. Let us go to the profitability ratio, about gross profit, about net profit, about operating profit, about return on assets or return on capital employed. From where you can clearly understand. Yes, you see, profitability ratio, as I told you, it is the indicator of efficiency of operation or day-to-day activities of the business. Whether business is efficiently running or whether business is carrying on its day-to-day activities efficiently or not. So let us understand that whether business is efficient in its operation or not, we have to calculate four particular ratios. One is gross profit ratios, one is net profit ratios, one is operating profit ratio, another is return on capital employed or return on assets or return on investments. So let us come to the first one, gross profit ratio. What is the formula of gross profit? So gross profit is, we know, net sales minus cost of goods sold. But if you see the statement I told you, net sales means it is revenue from operation. Is that clear? Now I am repeating, gross profit is equal to, as you know from our traditional statement, it is net sales minus cost of goods sold. But gross profit is here revenue from operation, that is called net sales, minus cost of goods sold, that is called cost of revenue from operation. What is the meaning of cost of revenue from operation? So that includes, as you know, in the traditional method, that is opening stock of inventory, then purchase of goods, then plus direct expenses minus closing inventory. But here, under this PL statement, uh, you see what is given. How to calculate here gross profit? Gross profit will be calculated like this: cost of raw material consumed plus purchase of stock in trade plus change in inventory, provided if it is a opening stock is positive, it is added, closing stock is equal to more, then it is deducted. So cost of raw material consumed, purchase of stock in trade, and change in inventory, plus some direct expenses where they are included. It may be included in employees benefit expenses like wages, and some direct expenses may be included in other expenses like all factory expenses. So you have to identify what are the factory expenses included in other expenses, what are the direct expenses like wages included in employee benefits. These two will be considered along with change in inventory. purchase of stock in trade, and cost of materials consumed. I think you understand me. Cost of material goods sold. Cost of goods sold is calculated in two ways, traditionally as well as according to the modern method of calculating from the PL statement. Again, I am repeating: cost of goods sold, cost of material consumed, plus purchase of stock in trade, change in inventory if opening minus closing is positive, then plus. If opening minus closing is negative, then it is a minus. Other direct expenses may be included in employee benefit expenses like wages, and factory expenses might be included in other expenses. If you take these, then you will get what? Cost of goods sold. So gross profit ratio is simply the relationship between gross profit and net revenue from sale of goods and services. So, what is the objective of calculating this gross profit ratio? That tells you the efficiency of your production, efficiency of your purchase, efficiency of your sales. So, three things are very important: production, another is purchase, sales. If these three things are very efficient, your gross profit margin will be more. So that gross profit ratio indicates how efficiently your production activities, sales activities, and purchase activities are carried on. So gross profit margin is one of the indicators of profitability of the business. If gross profit margin is more, then that indicates you have sufficient profit to meet operating expenses, non-operating expenses, plus it contributes towards dividend, and if there is something left out of that, that kept as reserve. So the more profit is there after dividend and all other expenses, so that helps the business in expansion and growth. So that is why gross profit margin tells you three important aspects of the business. One, again I'm repeating: production activities, purchase activities, and sales activities. These three activities, whether they are uh, efficiently managed by the business or not. So another case will go to net profit ratios. If you go to the net profit ratios, what is there? Net profit, gross profit you calculated. You can calculate net profit by deducting all other expenses which we have not taken, like your employee benefit expenses. That includes all expenses accrued to the employees, salaries, bonus. Similarly, another aspect is there: finance cost is there, that is interest paid on debenture, interest paid on loan, bonds. Another is depreciation and amortization is there, that will be deducted, and other expenses like administrative expenses, selling expenses, distribution expenses, which are included in other expenses, they are also deducted. So net profit uh, before tax you calculate, then net profit after tax. If you deduct tax, then you will get net profit. So finally, cost of goods sold will be deducted from net sales, and all other expenses which are not been considered will be deducted now, including tax, to find out net profit. Then what net profit ratio tells about you? It tells about the overall efficiency of the business. When you say overall efficiency, it is about, again, production, sales, purchase, administration, then will come uh, selling, distribution. All these expenses are considered for calculating what? Net profit. So net profit shows the overall, but gross profit particularly hints three things: how efficiently they are doing their activities. So net profit ratios we can calculate by establishing the relationship between net profit. Uh, Another is what? That is called revenue from operation. So net profit by revenue from operation, that tells you what is the percentage of sales revenue from operation is available for dividend payments, or for keeping some out of that as reserve to invest in the business, so that business can grow, business can expand. So the objective of the business, that to earn profit, that will lead to expansion and growth of business. If it happens, then overall, yes, excuse. Huh. How to do that? It was a recording stock meeting of could where it is admittable. Where to do that? Net profit ratios tells you about, again repeating in one or two sentences, so overall efficiency of the business. So net profit, how to calculate? Again, gross profit, it is there, minus all business expenses, including office expenses, selling expenses, distribution expenses, interest, tax, everything. So overall efficiency of the business can be measured by net profit ratios. Another is, it is given operating profit ratio. This is very important. Operating profit, another is operating cost. Two concepts are there. When you say op operating profit, it is about profit available from day-to-day operation of the business. So that is gross profit minus operating expenses. What is operating expenses? When you say operating expenses, what we have left out, you see employee benefits. From employee benefits, direct expenses already taken while calculating gross profit. So any other expenses under employee benefit will come under operating expenses. What we had left out, that is called the finance cost, will not be considered for operating expenses, because finance cost, interest on loan, interest on debenture, interest on bond, they do not get in. They are not directly involved with the day-to-day operation of the business. That is, they are excluded. Similarly, another is profit or other income. You see, other income includes income from interest on investment. Other income includes dividend that we receive on investment in share in another companies. So profit on sale of any assets or loss on sale of assets, all these are non-operating incomes and non-operating expenses. So non-operating expenses, non-operating incomes will be excluded while calculating operating profit. If you see the formula here, how much operating profit company generates in relation to revenue, it is given gross profit minus operating expenses. Otherwise, you can also calculate, otherwise net profit after tax is equal to simply net profit, again disturbing outside. Okay. EBIT. So if net profit is given after tax, then net profit after tax, from there you can deduct what interest you can deduct, and you can deduct tax therefrom, and you can deduct any other income which are non-operating in nature. Then you can add back some non-operating expenses. As I told you, it is interest on what it is called debenture, interest on loan, and you can add back a profit on sale of assets. So these are what non-operating expenses will be added, non-operating incomes will be deducted. So it is better to calculate from this source gross profit minus operating expenses. What are the operating expenses? This day-to-day business expenses, excluding day-to-day expense, excluding what I told you, that interest, finance cost, again extraordinary and exceptional loss due to fire, loss due to earthquake, loss due to sale of what assets. These are the what exceptional and extraordinary expenses. Then what does operating ratio tells you? It only tells you the efficiency of operation of the business. But gross profit tells you three things. Net profit tells you the overall efficiency, but operating profit tells you the efficiency of operating activities. When you say operating activities, it is about cost of goods sold, it is about again selling expenses, distribution expenses, administration expenses, employee benefits. All these are properly managed or not. If operating profit ratio is more, then business operation is efficient. So operating ratio is more means your business is operating with lot of efficiency in different activities like your purchase, your sales, your production, your manufacturing, or your factory, or you may say selling, or you may say administration activities, you may say selling activities, you may say distribution activities. That is why operating profit is very, very important, because that is the major source of revenue for the business. Non-operating profit is not major source of revenue from the business. That's why we need to calculate operating profit ratios. Come to the last one, return on capital employed. Return on capital employed is very, very important indicator of profitability of the business. Generally, in our research in PG, we take return on capital employed, or that is return on investment, ROI or ROCE. So return on capital employed, as the formula goes, that is EBIT, earning before interest and tax, divided by capital employed. So what is this earning before interest and tax? So net profit, as we have already calculated. So from there, if you add back interest, if you add back tax, you will get earning before interest and a tax. But one non-operating income, that interest on investment, see that whether it will be included or not depends on that investment is trade investment or it is a non-trade investment. If it is a trade investment, what is trade investment? Then if a company invests money in shares or debenture or securities of another company in order to promote its own business, that is called trade investment. So the interest on trade investment becomes part of EBIT. But if interest is received on non-trade investment, simply investment in share and securities in the share market, so that is not part of EBIT. So net profit plus interest, if interest, that is interest, you know that finance cost and tax. Out of that, some interest, that is income earned on trade investment, interest earned on non-trade investment has to be adjusted. Interest on trade investment is already there, so don't deduct. If interest on non-trade investment is included in that, then deduct it. Your non-trade investment is not part of capital employed. So what is the meaning of capital employed? Capital employed can be calculated in two ways. That is from asset side approach, non-current assets plus current assets minus current liabilities. This will give you capital employed. When you say non-current asset, it may include trade investment, non-trade investment. If you it includes non-trade investment, then deduct that. So interest on that also, it is also deducted. Again, I am repeating, capital employed, non-current assets plus current assets minus current liabilities. But when you take non-current assets, some element of trade or non-trade investment may be there. Trade investment is taken. If non-trade investment is there, then non-trade investment is excluded, eliminated. Interest on that also eliminated from numerator, that is earning before interest and tax. So from liability side, we also can calculate that shareholders fund plus long-term debt. Shareholders fund plus long-term debt minus non-trade investment. So if you calculate capital employed from asset side, you will get the same answer if you calculate from your liability side. So, what is the significance of this ratio? This ratio tells you how efficiently your assets are being utilized in the business, because we are calculating capital employed. Capital employed in where? Your current assets as well as non-current assets. So, from current assets, we deduct what? Current liabilities. So, net working capital is there, then non-current assets plus net working capital. So, these assets, how they are used in the business. If it is efficiently used, definitely your EBIT will be more. If these are not efficiently used, your EBIT will be less. So this ratio tells you how much we get as a return on money invested in non-current assets and net working capital. So this is the very important indicator of profitability of the business. So I have taken a hypothetical study to find out profitability of the business. I think all of you can calculate. Total sales is there, discount allowed, change in inventory like this, purchase, carriers. So these are expenses are given, and some items of balance sheet is given to calculate capital employed. So let us go to the first one. If you see the gross profit, so gross profit ratio. So as I have already told you, net sales minus cost of goods sold, and net sales is equal to cash sales plus credit sales minus sales return minus if any discount is there. In question, total sale is there, discount is deducted therefrom, so it is coming what? 76,000 net sales. And what is cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold is again calculated here, that cost of material consumed plus change in inventory plus purchase of inventory plus carriage inward minus discount if any, factory lighting, wages, that we know from plus 2 and plus 3. So cost of goods sold, if you deducted, it is coming how much? Cost of goods sold is coming 31,500. So our what is your gross profit? Gross profit is 44,500. Ratio is 44,500 divided by net sales, that is coming 58%. It is a good percent is a good one. So that is sufficient. I think that will be sufficient to meet that operating expenses and other expenses to 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 uh, to give you some amount of profit for dividend and reserve. So another is net profit ratio. Same, I have already told you. Net profit by sales, net sales. Net profit, how it is calculated? Simply it is PAT, profit after tax. So the statement is already given. So net profit is coming here 22,300, and sales is given 76,000. Percent is 29,000. You see, gross profit 58, it is 29. So around 29% is reduced because of what? Operating and other non-operating expenses. Still, 29% of net profit is sufficient to meet demand of shareholder in the form of dividend, and some amount may be left as reserve to again plow back that profit for growth and expansion. And if you see the operating profit, so operating profit, I told you that gross profit minus operating expenses. Since operating expense same as what other expense given in the question, so net profit is same as your operating profit, that is 29,000. That net profit EBIT is 29,400 divided by 76,000 net sales, it is coming 30%. It is good one. So always compare the ratio of current year with the previous year, so that you can know whether there is any improvement in profit or not. Or when, again you compare your net profit, any ratios, profitability ratios of your firm with another firm, then you can analyze, or you can determine where you stand. You stand better than other firms or not. So that is why inter-firm comparison is required and intra-firm comparison is required. Last one, that is capital return on capital employed. Return on capital employed, that is EBIT, that is already calculated 29,400. And capital employed, I told you that formula is non-current asset plus current asset minus current liabilities. while taking this one, non-trade investments will not be included, and interest on that should not be included in your EBIT. So finally, it is coming 37.69. So intentionally, I have taken the good sign or good figures so that it is giving what is this good margin of profitability of the companies. If it is less margin, then it's a problem for the company. Company has to think to reduce operating expenses, to increase sales, thereby company can earn more percentage of profit and a loss. So this is what yesterday I had explained by taking 5 Indian that IT companies, that is TCS, Infosys, Wipro, then HCL, Tech Mahindra. You see, if you compare TCS 1 year with another year, then this is intra firm comparison. And if you compare between the firms, this is inter firm comparison. So inter firm comparison, if you make, you can know the improvement in your profitability. Same is also given in case of ROC and net profit ratio. Another is the operating profit ratios. So another is industry standard may be there. It is Indian IT sector. So if you as a industry, if you take what is the percentage of gross profit in Indian IT sector, you can compare TCS gross profit with the industry ratio. Thereby, you can know whether your firm is up to the industry standard or beyond industry standard or less than the industry standard. So at least every firm is supposed to earn the industry standard percentage of what profitability. So you can compare your profitability ratio of 1 year with the others, between firms, with industry, so that you can know whether your profitability of the business is strong or not. I hope you must have understood what I explained today about what the profitability ratio. Again, in 1-2 minutes, I conclude by telling that profitability is the measure of efficiency of business operation. Whether business operation is efficient or not, to know that profitability is the indicator. When you say profitability, it can be gross profit, it can be net profit, it can be operating profit, it can be return on investment, ROI, or return on capital employed. So all these ratios indicate different things in the organization. Gross profit tells you about the operational efficiency of purchase, sales, and production, and net profit tells you about overall efficiency of the operation. But operating profit will tell you the operational efficiency of operating activities. But return on capital employed tells you the how well your non-current assets and net capital, working capital, are being utilized in the business. If it is utilized properly, the percentage of ratio we have calculated definitely will be more, and profit, if it is more, business can sustain. Business can, if it sustains, definitely it will contribute to achieve the objective, or that is profit maximization or wealth maximization of the business, that is to satisfy interest of all the